management.
Hello viewer, good evening. It's good to have you join us on Week in News. Week in News is a program that highlights some of the major stories during the week. But first, the day's news. I am Huzaifa Mohammed with the bulletin. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in the state says over 4,000 households were destroyed by the recent flood disaster in Yola South local government area. The head of operation, NEMA Yola office, Ayuba Lada, confirmed this while giving an update. Correspondent Bilkis Abubakar reports.
Over 4,000 houses destroyed due to the flood disaster experienced in Yola South local government area, which affected over 24,000 people. The flood disaster that claimed 29 lives, 11 still missing. In a telephone conversation, the head of operations of the National Emergency Management Agency Yola office, Ayuba Ladan, said post-disaster need assessment is still working to ascertain, post-disaster need assessment of the agency is still working to ascertain the number of farmlands, valuables and animals submerged in the flood to have a holistic figure.
Based on a meeting with the Deputy Governor, who is the chairman of our committee, at least we have come up with about 3 categories of victims. Those whose their houses were not purely, maybe water just entered their premises and destroyed their houses. I mean, those maybe destroyed their things in the house, and those that their fences and other things were destroyed, and those houses that were completely submerged and got destroyed. So all those ones we are looking at this because government has given the committee mandate to look into that to see what really it can be done.
Ayuba Ladan explained that 84,000 houses were so far identified built within the flood-prone zone.
From the assessment the team has carried out so far, we have about 84 houses that are within the floodplain. That is buildings that are standing on, not the ones that they just lay foundations and nothing has been done about. So those ones, so we are looking at it holistically so that the people that build on that waterways, at least government would compensate some of them. At least I know that the committee is suggesting that there should be government should allocate land for them, a plot where they will move them to that place.
Government is working out modalities to assist victims and possible ways to relocate them. NEMA says will provide assistance to farmers whose farmlands submerged so as to start up in dry season farming.
From the assessment the team has carried out so far, we have about 84 houses that are within the floodplain. That is buildings that are standing on, not the ones that they just lay foundations and nothing has been done about. So those ones, so we are looking at it holistically so that the people that build on that waterways, at least government would compensate some of them. At least I know that the committee is suggesting that there should be government should allocate land for them, a plot where they will move them to that place.
As at the time of filing in this report, the Relief and Post-Recovery Committee constituted by the Adamawa State Government has begun sharing of relief materials to the flood victims. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar, NTA News.
People residing in flood-prone areas are warned to take immediate action and relocate to safer ground to avoid the disaster in the society, especially during this rainy season. Correspondent takes a look on the causes and preventive measures of flood disaster. The reports. Flood disaster is usually occurred as a result of heavy rainfall, blockage and building on waterways, among others. The recent flood in some communities of Yola South local government area has resulted to loss of lives, animals and farmlands, of which people are still counting their losses. Considering the dangers associated with the disaster, people need to take precautionary measures to safeguard their lives and property, as no any amount of assistance or relief material that will cover the loss, as in most cases the vacuum created by the flood will be difficult to be filled. Therefore, there is need for people to stop building on waterways and improper dumping of refuse so as to curb the causes of flood disaster. Malaria parasite is a deadly disease that is very common in rainy season due to the features contained in the season. It is a disease caused from a mosquito bite, though preventable. A medical practitioner, Dr. Ni Oriolowo, has outlined the preventive measures to curb the spread of malaria in communities. Correspondent Muaz Huzaifa has details.
As the name applies, wet season is a period that makes the environment to be flooded, not only with water, but other features comprising overgrown grasses, stagnant water, and sometimes make the environment unpleasant due to the improper disposal of refuse. Certainly, these features makes the mosquitoes to breed, which is responsible for the cases of malaria paralysis during the rainy season. Therefore, environmental and personal hygiene is not only necessary, but must be regular for the healthy society and the environment.
Dealing with mosquitoes in these communities just by using insecticide. That's the way I use it in my own house, and also I would recommend the use of mosquito nets.
By cleaning the environment and washing all the dishes around the place and using mosquito nets.
I also use the mosquito net too.
A medical practitioner, Dr. Ni Oriolowo, said malaria is a preventable and treatable, but requires collective effort, proper environmental management, personal protection, and community participation.
Let there be drainage for water to drain. And also, we are advised to wear protective clothing, also to use insecticide treated bed nets. Our houses should also have mosquito nets to reduce the influx of mosquito into our dwelling places. Apart from that, those that are infected should be promptly treated adequately, and the drugs are subsidized. ACT, antenatal combination therapy.
Prevention is better than cure. Safeguarding your life and health and that of your family and the community is of great importance. Clean your environment today, remain healthy and wealthy tomorrow. In Yola, Muaz Huzaifa, NTA News.
That's it for the day's news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And now to weekend news proper. During the week under review, wife of the president Oluremi Tinubu has presented 500 million naira to the Adamawa State government to support and provide succor to the recent victim of flood in Yola South local government area. The First Lady, represented by the wife of the Vice President, Nana Kashim Shettima, described the disaster as painful and devastating. Bilkis Abubakar reports.
The devastating effect of flood disaster that recently ravaged 13 communities in Yola South local government area has obviously thrown the victims to difficulties of life. The Renew Hope initiative of Tinubu administration responded not only with 500 million naira, also joined by Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa Initiative, ASR Africa, donated food and non-food items to the victims of the disaster and other vulnerable groups to provide hope and give them a sense of belonging. The wife of the president, represented by Nana Shettima, wife of the vice president, sympathized with the victims, said the federal government is disturbed with the natural disaster.
I pray that Almighty Allah comfort the bereaved families, heal the injured, and strengthen all those affected. May God grant eternal rest to the soul of the departed souls.
I'm also praying for services of continued partnership, continued support, and through this partnership with RHI, we can assure you that we'll be steady partners to work to uplift our communities anytime they experience natural or any other kind of disasters across Nigeria and even across Africa.
Similarly, the wife of the president has flagged off the Women Economic Empowerment Program of Tony Elumelu Foundation for small-scale traders in Adamawa, where the beneficiaries receive 50,000 naira each to strengthen their business.
I thank the Tony Elumelu Foundation, who donated 1 billion naira to the Renewed Hope initiative to directly support 18,500 women across the nation. 500 women from each state of the 36 states and the FCT will be receiving 50,000 naira each to strengthen and recapitalize their existing small businesses.
Deputy Governor Professor Kaletapoa Farauta, who stood in for Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, said the Adamawa State government is working out modalities for reconstruction of the affected communities, and the donations will surely cushion the effect of the disaster.
I want to thank you for raising the hopes of the common man and the common woman. I want to thank you for coming in today to do what parents do, because you are coming in as a mother of the nation and on behalf of the father of the nation. As a state, we are most grateful. We do not take this for granted.
We know that you have a passionate and compassionate heart for the people of Adamawa State and the nation at large. So we want to say thank you. The women of Adamawa State are saying thank you.
No doubt, as the federal and the Adamawa State government are working to mitigate the effect of the flood disaster, the donation of the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu and other partners has put a smile on the faces of the victims and the vulnerable groups in Adamawa.
Also, during the week under review, Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri has charged the newly chairman and board members of the Bureau of Public Procurement to take their responsibilities without any sentiments. The governor, who gave the charge during a brief swearing-in ceremony, said dividend of democracy across all parts of the state is a proof evidence of sentiment-free of his administration threats. Usman Mukhtar files in details.
The oath of allegiance was administered on them by Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General Afremo Jingi.
Do hereby solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as member of the Adamawa State Bureau of Public Procurement, I will discharge my duties to the best.
With this, they have officially taken over leadership of piloting and supervising the affairs of Bureau for Public Procurement to ensure justice and transparency. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, represented by his deputy, Professor Kaletapoa Farauta, who charged them to discharge their duties without fear or favor, emphasized the need for them to be sentiment-free in leading the affairs of their respective offices.
We hope you bring your experiences to bear and what this government has already been doing. Congratulations and welcome.
Chairman of the board, Martina Abba, appreciates Governor Fintiri for finding them worthy of responsibilities, promising to abide by the rules and regulations guiding the agency.
Giving us this opportunity, we will abide by all the rules and regulations that is stated in the Constitution. And all what the procurement needs, we are going to abide by it. And we pray that God the Almighty will lead us through. We are not the people to do this work, but God will lead us to do it.
For transparency to executing projects as stipulated by Procurement Act, the Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority held a 2025 technical bids opening with promise to ensure transparency in the whole process. Bilkisa Abubakar covered the session for NTA News. The reports.
Following the announcement of 2025 project execution by Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority on national dailies for prospective bidders, 246 declared interest, and at the closing hour, 213 prospective bidders submitted their lots. The opening of technical bids follows immediately under the watchful eyes of the representative of the Ministry of Water Resources, anti-graft agencies, security, prospective bidders, among others. The Managing Director, Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority, Sanusi Mohammed, represented by the Executive Director, Finance and Administration, Ibrahim Dasuki Jallo, said the authority is ready to abide by the rules guiding the bidding process, transparency, accountability and efficiency, and all the projects must meet the standard.
There is a policy here. I will make sure that we leave no stone unturned to ensure that the right process are followed according to the rules and regulations guiding them. So I want to assure you that you are at home, and we will pray and hope that we will see a very peaceful and transparent process.
The acting head of procurement, NS Udo, and legal officer, Barrister Yakubu Gundri, espoused the bidders on the process and reminded them on the nitty-gritty for legally accepted bidding, especially on Bureau of Public Procurement revised standard, as the successful contractors are expected to sign contractual agreement before executing projects, among other issues.
We are judging you based on the information we gave you on the advert, as you follow them, and we are judging you also in your responsiveness to that revised standard document, so that at the end of the day, we now come up with, after the evaluation, with those who have scaled through, and in due time we are going to notify you. If you are successful, if you have passed the technical stage, we will invite you again.
This is a seal, an example of a seal. This is a mark or symbol of authority of your company. The sense that you are the person or you are the company that has rightfully signed and executed that contract. Please, we expect you as contractors to come with this once you are coming. Again, you can see this. This is a red sticker seal. Now, the purpose of this is legibility. Once you are now putting it on where you are signing, for you to have a clear view that yes, it is a particular company A that has signed the contract. It is very important for the legibility and clarity. Please, let's understand this moving forward.
The symbolic opening of the documents marked the commencement of the technical exercise, and the successful bidders are expected to be contractors who are to execute the 2025 projects of Upper Benue River Basin Development Authority.
Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri has charged legal practitioners to remain hope of the common man at ensuring fairness, justice and equity for God and humanity. The governor gave the charge while speaking at the 2025 Northeast Regional Conference of Christian Lawyer Fellowship of Nigeria held in Yola. Usman Mukhtar reports.
The conference provided an avenue for Christian lawyers within the northeastern region to not only have a face-to-face professional interaction, but as well enhance their spiritual well-being, with the theme Thine is the Kingdom, the event, which is a call for Christian lawyers to align their lives and practice with the purposes of God, also reminded the legal practitioners that, beyond courtroom engagements and other office responsibilities, they are ambassadors of God, choosing to serve humanity through justice, hence the need of being spiritually guided. Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, represented by his deputy, Professor Kalitapa Farauta, urged the legal practitioners to use their profession in championing the cause of humanity, particularly at ensuring fairness, justice and equity in connection to spiritual mindset.
And once the eyes of common men are on you, it means their expectations outside God are from you. They look up to you as people who would do them justice. They look up to you as people who would represent them fairly. They look up to you as people who would, without sentiments, help them to pull through whatever situations they find themselves in by proper representation.
President of the association, Femi David, represented by the Vice President, Paul Namache, advised the members to take advantage of the gathering in uplifting their spiritual being.
The legal profession today groans under the weight of compromise and corruption. But here is Platform's call to be the generation of legal priests and prophetic advocates.
Aside the Commissioner for Justice, Afremo Jingi, there were goodwill messages from former Chief Judge of the State, Justice Nathan Musa retired, representative of the Speaker, Adamawa State House of Assembly, and representative of Chief Judge of the State, among others. Key aspect of the event was the unveiling of Sound Counsel magazine of the fellowship.
During the week, the Nigerian Red Cross Society has organized a 2-day meeting with communities residing in flood-prone areas in the state. Muaz Huzaifa reports that the meeting is aimed at improving disaster preparedness and to minimize the impact of flooding across vulnerable communities in the state. The reports.
The event with the theme Early Warning for Flood Vulnerable Communities, which is aimed at strengthening campaign on flooding. The meeting, organized by Red Cross Society in collaboration with the United Nations Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, is to further enlightening people on the dangers of flooding. The event, which took place in Yola, brought together community leaders and technical partners to deliberate on the roadmap for implementing early warning in flood-prone areas. Speaking at the occasion, the Nigerian Humanitarian Fund Manager, Kizito Iranya of the United Nations Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, spoke on the flood prevention and community resilience initiatives.
The activities that are going to implement for this response is very key to the success of all the projects that are going to be implemented under the 2 allocations. So we really implore you to work collaboratively with all the stakeholders in this response.
NEMA did a presentation which you see resulted in some 10 million to NEMA, 10 billion to NEMA, 3 billion to each state for flood response, not anticipatory action, for flood preparedness and response anyway.
Representatives Abubakar Ardo Yahya of the Nigeria Red Cross Society emphasized on the urgent need for proactive flood risk reduction strategies.
We are advising them to take measures, which is the precaution, because when flood have started coming, or maybe when the flood come, there is no guarantee that it will not come back, because we are still in the rainy season and we are having a very heavy rainfall, a downpour.
Some community leaders also spoke on flood preventive measures.
The early warnings, which includes monitoring and knowing the levels of waters. If people are well sensitized, I believe the loss of lives and properties will be mitigated.
The Nigerian Red Cross Society